everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the mid-year freakout book tag. We have about 13 questions and it is going to be a good time. I still don't quite understand how 2024 is almost over, especially since, you know, we're already past the midpoint and I'm a little late to the game, but that's okay. That is okay. We're still going to participate. It's going to be a great time. Let's jump into it. Question 1 is the best book you've read in 2024. I have two answers for this one. First is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I adored this book. I know y'all have already heard of it. I know most of y'all have probably already read it, but let me just tell you, it is definitely worth the hype. I straight up believe this is her best book. I can confidently sit up here and tell you that it is her best book. If you need a synopsis, here you go. Just know that it's a little bit of a bumpy ride, so trust the process while I'm giving you the synopsis. So in Funny Story, we are following Daphne. Daphne is engaged to Peter. They are literally about to get married. Peter goes off on his bachelor trip. He tells Daphne, hey, my childhood best friend Petra is going to be on the trip with us, but you don't have to worry about anything. She literally is my best friend. Like, don't worry about a single thing. He then comes back to his bachelor trip, looks at Daphne and says, you know what, I actually don't think we need to get married because I'm in love with Petra. I'm in love with her, so I'm gonna give you a few days to move out. I'm gonna go on vacation with Petra. When I come back, you better be gone. A real winner, if you will. Now let's pan to what Petra was doing before she got with Peter. Petra was also in a relationship with Miles. She was living with the man. Miles now needs a roommate since his heart is broken from Petra. Daphne has nowhere to live, so she's gonna move in with Miles, and the story goes from there. So good. I absolutely adored this one. If you are a New Girl fan, specifically Nick Miller from the streets of Chicago, this book is for you. Genuinely, this book is, and Daphne is one of my soul characters. She is so Taylor Swift the Prophecy coded, and the book as a whole is the Black Dog coded. My second answer for this question is The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. This book was everything. It was everything. It is second chance, forced proximity, pain. Like genuinely pain. Imagine you're losing me mixed with this love, mixed with like paper rings. It's all set over a wedding weekend where everyone is getting prepped for it, and it is so good. So in this book, we are following Georgia and Eli. They dated for the longest time. Something happened. They went their separate ways. Georgia and Eli were really, really close friends before they started dating, and they had another friend. And so the three of them were as close as can be. And so when Georgia and Eli broke up, they told each other, you know what, we are not going to tell this other friend what went down. We're not going to tell him how bad our breakup was. We're just going to be civil. We're going to be civil to one another and pretend nothing really ever happened, and that we're all just really good friends. Their other friend I was talking about is who is getting married this weekend. This is putting Georgia and Eli in very, very close proximity to one another. Everything that could possibly be going wrong with this wedding is happening. So Georgia and Eli are running around town trying to get everything set up for this wedding, both still reeling from this heartbreak because it's still pretty fresh. They were head over heels in love with each other, and it's just so good. If you like Happy Place by Emily Henry, you will love The Exiles. You will truly love this book. This book is very raw and real, and it is a people-pleasing book in a nutshell. Like, our main girl, Georgia, is a people pleaser, and I felt very seen. I felt very seen. Also, great anxiety representation in this one. Beautiful. The next question is the best sequel that you read in 2024. That is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Now, I know this one's been getting a little bit of mixed reviews. I know that. I am self-aware, but let me just tell you, I had the best time during this book. I was just grinning from ear to ear. My feet could not stop kicking. I was smiling, I was blushing, I was screaming, I was losing my mind, and that is everything I could ever ask for in a sequel. That is literally everything I could ever ask for. I even tabbed it. Like, look at that. Stunning, immaculate, everything I could have asked for, and I need Fearless ASAP. I think it comes out in April. So can someone make it April like now? Thank you. So good. Oh, and by the way, this is the sequel to Powerless by Lauren Roberts. If you don't know what Powerless is, imagine the Hunger Games set in a kingdom. People have powers, except for our main girl. Some may say she is powerless, but it is not allowed to be powerless within this kingdom, so she is having to hide that from everyone while she's in this Hunger Games type of situation. It's also dual POV, do I like you, do I hate you, what the heck are we situation of sorts between this girl and the prince who has dimples and we love. Check out this series, it's amazing. The next question is new release you haven't read yet, but you want to. I have multiple books for this answer. Multiple. First, there's a novel love story by Ashley Poston. Let me tell y'all, The 7-Year Slip by her was one of my favorite books of last year, so I need to get my hands on a copy ASAP. I don't know a single thing about it except that it is for the book lovers. It is for our small town book loving girlies, which is me. That is me. So I just feel like I'm absolutely gonna eat it up. Also, the cover is stunning. Like, literally look at that. Are we kidding? Next, I really want to read The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. Again, I don't know a single thing about it except Catherine Center wrote this thing, which means I will be reading it because she's one of my favorite authors ever. She deserves more hype. She always just writes a fun time, which is what I'm after in the summer, you know? So that will be getting read ASAP. And then finally we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sagar. I always read his books. Every year I read his new releases. So once I'm in the mood for a thriller, this will be the first one that we end up reading. I don't know anything about it except I think it takes place in like the 90s. That could be a lie. I have no clue. I'm pretty sure it takes place in the 90s though, because I'm pretty sure the timeline goes Survive the Night and then this one in the Riley Sagar universe. But like take that with a grain of salt if you will. Ooh, next is most anticipated release for the end of the year. I have a lot. I am so excited for Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and y'all, I need this book like I need water. I need it. I need it now. It is enemies to lovers. I think forced proximity, best friend's brother. The banter between these characters in the previous books was so good and top notch that I just cannot wait until they have their own book. Also single dad. Single dad. Like we cannot ignore that that is one of the tropes and that's one of my favorite tropes to ever exist. And so I already know that this book is gonna be a 5 out of 5. I already know it. And people have already been getting arcs for this one and I'm just so jealous. Like I'm so happy for them, but I'm also so jealous. I'm so jealous. I'm also so excited for Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This one is a small town single dad once again. I believe there's a little bit of like a musician element to it, which isn't my favorite thing in the world. But what I've learned about Elsie Silver is anytime she takes one of my least favorite tropes, she makes it amazing and she makes the book readable for me. So in Elsie Silver we trust, and I think it'll end up being amazing. Also, it's an orange cover. It's giving orange dreamsicle vibes. Oh my gosh, there's also the third book for the Serpent and the Wings of Night series. I can't remember the name of it. I will put it up here. It comes out, I think in November. Y'all, I straight up just binge read this series. Like as y'all are watching this video right now, I just binge read the first 2 books and they were amazing. And I loved it so much. So I truly need this book like yesterday. Like yesterday. I cannot wait. If you have not read the Serpent and the Wings of Night series yet, imagine the Hunger Games, but put it in a world of vampires. But our main girl is human, except she was raised by the Vampire King. It is a crazy time. If you've read Powerless and you're like, oh, I wish Powerless was a little more mature, you should read Serpent and the Wings of Night by Krista Broadbent. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I feel like y'all have no excuse. It's so good. Oh, and also I want to read Delicate Escape by Catherine Cowles. I think this comes out next month in August, and I'm pretty sure the third book in this series is also coming out this year. I don't know how Catherine Cowles is pumping all these books out, but like round of applause to her, and I'm obsessed with the fact that she is doing this. Y'all, her series are so good. She writes like suspenseful romance books. So each of these standalones in this series have like a thriller subplot to them, which I can never guess the ending. I can never guess who the bad guy is. And then the plot just will literally come out of left field, and I am just obsessed with that. I love that I can never figure out the plot twist to any of her books in a romance setting. Like, are we kidding? Please read anything, everything by Catherine Cowles now. Go run, go do it, please and thank you. The next prompt is biggest disappointment, and my answer for this is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. I love the Housemaid series so much. I binge read the first 2 books back to back. I couldn't be stopped. And the third book just fell so flat to me. The third book is taking place 10 years after the events of the previous 2 books, and I almost wish it would have just been with completely new characters, because that's what this book felt like to me. It did not feel like Millie and Enzo. It felt like people I had never even met before. And then the fact that Frida McFadden threw in some characters where I still don't understand their purpose, unless their purpose was to literally just annoy me and bother and frustrate me. I don't understand why they were there. So I'm gonna say that that was my biggest disappointment, and hopefully her new book that comes out in October will work for me. I don't know, fingers crossed, but that one wasn't it, and it made me a little sad, not gonna lie. The biggest surprise that I read in 2024 was Ready or Not by Cara Stone. Y'all, this was an unexpected, unplanned pregnancy book, and I loved it. I loved it. I can't stand that trope. The only other time this trope has worked for me was in Reckless by Elsie Silver, and I was just so giddy and happy over this book. And also, our main male character is literally the definition of a golden retriever. He is literally a golden retriever, and I loved it so much. Oh my goodness. In this book we are following Eve. Eve has a one-night stand with a bartender. A few weeks later she learns that she is pregnant. She's decided that she wants to raise this baby. She goes to tell the bartender, telling him that she has no expectations whatsoever, but this is what she is doing. She thought that he deserved to know. That's essentially what this book is. We are just following Eve as she is navigating through this pregnancy. She does have that support system, which is where our main male character comes into play. And I love him. I love him. Please read this one. It's a great time. It's so good. Next prompt is favorite new author, and that's gotta be Chloe Walsh, the author of the Boys of Tommen series. Let me tell y'all, I know y'all have seen this series floating around on BookTube, Bookstagram, Book Talk. This thing is worth the hype. This is worth the hype. I binge read 4 out of the 5 books in this series in less than a week. I couldn't stop. I just kept going and going and going and crying and going and going and going. It's gonna hurt, but you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's so good. I tabbed this one too. This is one of those series where as soon as I finished it, I just wanted to start over. I truly just wanted to go back to book 1 and start the whole dang thing over. And that is the best feeling an author can ever give me. So shout out to Chloe Walsh. Cannot wait for book number 6, whenever that'll come out. Whenever it comes out, I cannot wait. A queen. Look at the trigger warnings before going into this one, because as I said, this thing is heavy. I do have a spoiler-free reading vlog from this book though, if y'all want to see my reactions to it. Check it out. Another new favorite author of mine from this year is Catherine Cowles. I literally was just talking about her, but I love her. I think I've read 6 books from her already this year. Like, I can't be stopped. It's gonna be 7 once her newest one comes out. She's so good. She's amazing. This is Whispers of You. It's the first book in the Lost and Found series. This is a great place to start in the Catherine Cowles literary universe. This is amazing. I loved it, and it only gets better from here because the last 2 books in the series are my favorite. So good. For newest fictional crush, I have 4. Sorry, not sorry. I have 4, so let's roll into it. First, we have Justin from Just for the Summer. If y'all have not read this book, what are you doing with your lives? What are you doing with your lives? Go run to the nearest bookstore, pick it up, read it, tell me all of your thoughts because I love this man. This book handles mental health so well, and it focuses on attachment styles and why people are acting a certain way, and the way that Justin just handled all the punches being thrown his way was just amazing. I have no words for this man, and I love him. We also have Wes Ryder from Swift and Saddle by Lila Sage. This book is Black Cat Golden Retriever. I love me a Golden Retriever man, let me tell you, and that is Wes. He is so patient and so understanding, and I also completely love Ford Grant from Wild Love by Elsie Silver. If you like the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver, just imagine Cade mixed with Theo, and that's Ford. That is Ford, and he is everything. He is the standard. So thank you, Elsie Silver, for creating this man. And then finally, we have Kai from Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've already told you all what this book is about, but just know that I love Kai. This is the boy with dimples that I was telling you about. This is the sassy boy with dimples, and he is the best, and I love him. Next, we have newest fictional character, and that is obviously Bryce from the first book in the Crescent City series, which is House of Earth and Blood. Y'all, I did not expect to love this book. In fact, I thought I was gonna DNF it because it is huge and intimidating, and I did not think I was a fantasy girly. I loved it. I literally loved it. I told y'all this in my wrap up, but this is like an adult Zootopia. And it just hits, and I adored Bryce. I loved how misunderstood she was and how she never tried to correct anyone with how wrong they were about her. She just kind of floated by and proved them wrong in her own way. And it was great. I feel like a lot of the times, especially in fantasy books, we have that main character who knows she's different from everyone else and has to prove to everyone that she's so different and she can save the world and yada, yada, yada. And we have Bryce, who is like, I know that you're wrong about me, but I'm not going to stand here and correct you over this or try and show off or whatever. I'm going to do what I have to do, and y'all can deal with the fact that you're just wrong. I love that about her. I need to continue on in the series. Why haven't I? I don't know. They'll get read before the end of the year. Trust me. For the prompt, a book that made me cry, I'm just putting the whole Boys of Tommen series right here. Again, if you're going to read this series, please have a box of tissues with you, because it's going to hurt. Yeah, that's really all I have for that. I was not okay. For the prompt, a book that made me happy, we have Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. This book is single parent, nanny, runaway bride, grumpy sunshine, forced proximity, small town. It was just fun. It was just fun. I flew through this thing, and then I flew through the rest of the books in the series. I couldn't be stopped. If you were just wanting a quick, fun book to get you out of a reading slump or just to kind of distract you from everything that's going on in life, read this thing. On Kindle Unlimited, you will love. you will love. Ooh, I love this prompt. Okay, so the most beautiful book I've received or bought this year. I bought this one. This is The Wren in the Holly Library. I believe this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but look at the sprayed edges. Literally look at that. Like, oh my gosh. That's just everything. And then this is the back of the book. So pretty. Like, you cannot tell me that's not gorgeous. You can't tell me. Like, y'all, this is Under the Dust Jacket. Are you kidding me? I don't know anything about this except potential Beauty and the Beast vibes, but just stunning, stunning. And I don't even think that this is a special edition. I just think this is the first edition. So you still might be able to find it. Hopefully it's good, but even if it's not, I'm gonna have to keep it because she's gorgeous. I would love more books like this, truly. Wow, obsessed, obsessed. And then finally, what books do I hope to read before the end of the year? So many. Literally all the new releases that I told you about. Every single one of them I hope to read. Now the books on my TBR that I hope to read before the end of the year, I really want to finish A Good Girl's Guide by Holly Jackson. I've read the first book, but I never continued on. I definitely want to finish it before I watch the TV show. I think that's the goal. We'll have to see if I actually do that or not. But I really want to. I also think I want to do a reread of the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. That was one of my favorite series growing up, and I think I'm due for a reread. I've also had a few of y'all ask me to do an entire plot video for the Vampire Academy series, and so I am thinking about doing a reread so that I can do that for y'all. I just feel like that'll be so fun. I'm also really wanting to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I don't know if I need to read the Caraval series first, but I really want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I have heard that this is top tier YA fantasy. And that's all I need to know. That is all I need to know. For some reason, I am in a real big fantasy swing right now. So I'm also going to read Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I have been told that Quicksilver is the new romantasy book that everybody needs to read. It's going to be like the new Fourth Wing. It is apparently a romantasy between Fae and a vampire? And that's all I need to know. We need to bring back the era of vampires, please and thank you. I don't know who we need to talk to about that, but we need to get on it because that's all I want. I'm so excited for this one. It's on Kindle Unlimited. And honestly, before the next time we talk, that book will probably be read. It just looks so good. It looks so good. All right, so I think that's it for the tag. Thank you all so much for being here. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more content from me, make sure that you're subscribed. But until next time, bye everyone. Love y'all.